You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
I know the NBA playoffs are going on, but damn that. The city of New York has the best player in the draft, and the New York Jets have a quarterback. Those are the storylines I'm stealing from it. It's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, best phones, best networks. No contracts, by the way, before I even get into anything. Let me also remind you, very, very important, y'all. Being a mom is like 1,000 little jobs all wrapped up into one. This Mother's Day. Show her your appreciation with 36 sorbet roses for just $36 from 1-800-Flowers.com. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon and enter code Stephen A. That's with a PH, not a V. Lots of stuff to get into, and let's just get right into it. For me, it's about New York. It's about Big Blue. It's about Gang Green. It's not about Baker Mayfield going number one, which was highly questionable, by the way. It's not about what the Cleveland Browns did in drafting Denzel Ward out of Ohio State because you needed a cornerback as opposed to grabbing the best player available, which was likely Bradley Chubb out of North Carolina State because of his ability to get to the passer. It ain't about Josh Allen and racially insensitive tweets. It's not about Josh Rosen and that damn mouth of his, which he needs to shut up. It's about the New York Giants and the New York Jets and what this upcoming season means for both in light of what we witnessed take place in Dallas, Texas last night at the 2018 NFL Draft. The New York Jets have a quarterback. Now, you could sit up there and say, you know what? Drafted a quarterback, best quarterback in the draft, and selecting their first quarterback since Mark Sanchez, USC quarterback since Mark Sanchez. Listen, let me tell you something. Mark Sanchez doesn't deserve to be mentioned in the same sentence as Sam Darnold. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not going to knock him. I'm not going to destroy him, eviscerate him, or anything like that. But Sam Darnold, Mark Sanchez was never meant for New York the way Sam Darnold appears to be made. Mark Sanchez came to this city, and you could automatically see distractions. You know, the whole look and all of the ancillary things that were on the side didn't mean a damn thing, wasn't going to help you be a quarterback. Now, I really don't blame him that much because Rex Ryan was a defensive mind, didn't know what the hell he was doing on the offensive side of the ball, and practically admitted and coached like he didn't care. In the case of Todd Bowles, that's not going to be the case. And having Sam Darnold, a guy that can throw, that can make all the requisite throws, that has an NFL body, that has strength, that has durability, that has poise, that can make plays with his feet as well as with his arm, that doesn't appear to be fragile, mentally or physically. That's the guy that you needed in this city. And see, for me, I'm incredibly excited because in my mind, this is the first real quarterback, real franchise caliber quarterback. I'm not talking about one-year wonders, like Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not talking about Josh McCown, who's 38 years of age. I'm not talking about Mark Sanchez having a decent year. I'm talking about a franchise quarterback. I'm talking about having a quarterback that you can look at and say, this brother could be here the next 15 years. That's what I'm talking about. And that, to me, is what the New York Jets just acquired. In Sam Darnold, they have that dude. And I couldn't be more excited and more happier for them. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about what I'm seeing. That's where I'm coming from with it. Sam Darnold is that guy. Now, does that mean you put him in there week one? Not necessarily. Josh McCown is here for a reason. He's 38 years of age, had a decent year last year, is experienced, and as a man has great character and wouldn't mind bringing Sam Darnold along and being that veteran catalyst that you need. So all of that's good. We've got no issue with Josh McCown, but that ain't the guy we expect to be seeing week 1 through 17. Oh, hell no. We want to see Sam Darnold up in there. And I know the fall off from 2016 to 2017, where he went from looking like a stud to looking a bit turnover prone. I get all of that. But Sam Darnold can play. This is what the aficionados say. And if that's what they say, and you know that you've never had that as the New York Jets, I'm sorry, change has arrived. According to everybody on the inside, this is the guy the Jets wanted all along. It wasn't Baker Mayfield. It was Sam Darnold. That's who they wanted. For all we know, when news was percolating that Baker Mayfield was the guy on the Jets' mind, the Jets probably put it out there so Cleveland, they'd be enticed to take Baker Mayfield instead of having him fall at 3. It seems as if Sam Darnold was the guy the Jets wanted all along. And when I talk to Todd Bowles, head coach for the New York Jets, later on this show, I'm looking forward to asking him about that. Jets have a quarterback. The Jets have a quarterback. And my God, did they need it. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. You just had to get this. I mean, when you look at Darnold, what else is there to say? This is the guy you had your eyes on. This is the guy that threw for over 4,000 yards last year. This is the guy that got outplayed by Josh Rosen when they went up against UCLA, even though USC beat him. But his arrival says a few things. Number one, he's the future. Number two, that means Christian Hackenberg and Bryce Petty are done. We'll see what McCown and Teddy Bridgewater, as far as I'm concerned, Teddy Bridgewater's done. Because Teddy Bridgewater was looking to land someplace where he can get an opportunity to compete. Hopefully his knee is fixed and he can really showcase his talent, skills, and abilities. I don't know if that happens now. Because I sincerely doubt Sam Darnold is going to be third string. And by halfway through the season, he may very well and should be first string. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the New York Jets do with this. But as interesting as that story is, and as happy as I am that they got Sam Darnold out of USC, nothing makes me happier than GM Dave Gettleman for the New York Giants passing on a potential franchise quarterback to get himself Saquon Barkley. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Eli Manning ain't retiring. And as bad as Eli Manning has looked from time to time, when you played most of your career in New York without the services of a potent offensive line or a running game, what the hell do you expect? I want to give Eli Manning the benefit of the doubt. I want to sit up there and look at him and say, you know something? I don't think he's been dealt a fair hand. When I think about Eli Manning, questionable. I mean, look, Eric Flowers is your left tackle. Come on, y'all. Come on now. What's the man supposed to do? You got no running game. And so what did you need to do? You need to go out there and get a stud, an elite player that has Hall of Fame written all over him. And in the process of having that available to him, guess what? Not only does Saquon Barkley run out of the backfield, he also he catches passes. Them dinks and dunks are going to work effectively with Eli Manning. And oh, by the way, if he's not doing that, then guess what he's going to be doing? He's going to be pass blocking and picking up blitzes to protect Eli Manning. So I don't blame Dave Gettleman one bit for sitting there and saying, we going all in now. We ain't trying to wait. We ain't trying to rebuild. We ain't trying to start with a new quarterback. We're not trying to ship Eli Manning out of here. We want to take the best player, who's a triple threat, by the way. And by virtue of being a triple threat, protecting the quarterback, catching passes, running the football, that also assists the offensive line. Then you've got Odell Beckham Jr. and Sterling Shepard as your wideout. You got Ingram as your tight end. Hell, if Dez want to play number 2, although I believe he should be looking to go to Green Bay, I'm not going to sniff at him if he wants to be a number 2, although I'm not so sure he's better than Sterling Shepard. But if you're Eli Manning, giving up on him? No, I don't think so. Eli Manning can still make the throws. The difference is you got to protect him. And he's been an Iron Man all these years as a quarterback. Matter of fact, he was just fine until Ben McAdoo's presence contaminated everything big that represents Big Blue. And so now you don't have to concern yourself with that anymore. You're the New York Jets. You're in a great position. This is something special. And I love it. You're the New York Giants. I love it. Make their offense more potent. Stop throwing the defense to the wolves. Give Landon Collins and the rest of the crew something to work with. Give Eli Manning, or Eli Apple rather, a reason to feel enthusiastic. He's been through a lot. Thank God his mother is feeling better and she's wonderful. And now he doesn't have to be distracted anymore between that and Ben McAdoo's coaching. And now he can get back to the business of being everything he's supposed to be. New head coach, new GM, new star running back, better offense. Listen, a legitimate argument can be made. Philadelphia Eagles are clearly the class of the NFC East, but what did Dallas really do to improve itself? This kid Van Der Esch with his ignorant self going to talk about we're Super Bowls, baby. Clearly excited. I'm only playing. I'm not being vicious with him. I'm just having fun with him. I'm a Dallas Cowboy hater. We all know that. And this dude talking about Super Bowls, and he wasn't even born probably when the last time the Dallas Cowboys captured a Super Bowl. Who the hell is he to bring up Super Bowl and the Dallas Cowboys in the same breath? The Washington Redskins, what do we really expect from them? Not much. We know this. So because of that, guess what? Why should we be concerned about them? A legitimate argument can be made that the Giants can end up being the second best team in the NFC East. You just never know. You just never know. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. That's just a couple of storylines, and that all involves New York. Baker Mayfield being taken number one, I think was a huge risk. I like Baker Mayfield. I think he was a stud. That wouldn't have bothered me at all if the Jets grabbed him at number 3. But if you got the number 1 overall pick, particularly with the putrid, disgusting, delusional history that the Cleveland Browns have had at the quarterback position, having passed up on Donovan McNabb for Tim Couch, having passed up on Aaron Rodgers, having passed up on Big Ben Roethlisberger, having passed up on Drew Brees, having passed up on Carson Wentz, having passed up on Deshaun Watson, you would think they would go with the sure thing. And everybody and their grandmother said the closest thing to a sure thing at the quarterback position was Sam Darnold. Yet Cleveland passed. So they believe in Baker Mayfield. They're clearly going all in. Congratulations to them. I'm here to tell you, I hope that's not a mistake. I truly, truly hope that's not a mistake. I like Baker Mayfield. I want him to produce, but being undersized, 6 feet, 5 and 8, 5 and 8, 5/8 inches, 5/8 of an inch. I don't know. I know he's thick, but I don't, that height with that massive line, defensive lines of scrimmage coming at him where it's difficult to see over some of these defenders. I don't know how that works out. We have to wait and see. So he's your first quarterback taken. Sam Darnold, your second quarterback taken. Josh Allen, all this news about, racially insensitive tweets when he was 14 or 15 years old, which I just think is just cruel. Just cruel. Subjecting him to that nonsense, making him have to deal with that the night before the draft. The night before the draft. This is done to this kid because of something he tweeted when he was a teenager. It's just reprehensible. It really, really is. But I'm happy to see that he landed on his feet and ended up landing with the Buffalo Bills, who moved up to the 7th spot to get him, because guess what? When you look at Buffalo, who switched from 12 to 7 with Tampa, think about what they say about Josh Allen. I mean, if you really, really think about it, he's the highest selected quarterback in Bills franchise history, surpassing even Jim Kelly, who was taken at number 14 overall in 1983. Josh Allen is big with a strong arm, can make all the requisite throws, etc. His accuracy, completing only 56% of his passes, is an issue. But he's considered the guy with the biggest upside. He'll be competing with A.J. McCarron for the starting job. A.J. McCarron will win that job because A.J. McCarron is pretty damn good. And I thought he would give Andy Dalton a run for his money if they had allowed him to. So he ain't losing the job this early to Josh Allen. That I can tell you. But in the same breath, Josh Allen did end up in the right spot. And I don't think anybody can deny that. The last quarterback of the top 4 taken was Josh Rosen out of UCLA, number 10 overall. And got the nerve to open his mouth. Do we have that sound? This guy opening his mouth, Josh Rosen? I mean, what the hell is wrong with him? I just thought it was stupid. It was absolutely idiotic for him to open his mouth and say what he said. Listen to Josh Rosen, a former star at UCLA, talk after being selected 10th overall by the Arizona Cardinals. Listen to this.
I was pretty pissed off. I fell. 1, 2, and 3 went by, and just kind of went into a blur after that. I was really angry. Teams were passing on me, and I was honestly expecting to get picked at some point and have to fake a smile and go up and pretend to be happy. But for some reason, when I got picked, all of that went away, and it just went to straight excitement and relief. And the biggest thing was definitely motivation. There were 9 mistakes made ahead of me. And I will make sure over the next decade or so that they will know that they made a mistake.
That's just stupid. That's just stupid. Y'all can call it confidence. Y'all can call it cockiness. Y'all can call it whatever it is. It's just stupid. Yes, the Oakland Raiders traded with the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals moved up. Sam Bradford's health is questionable. Mike Glennon ain't no franchise quarterback. So they had to move up to get a quarterback. That's why they traded their first-round selection, gave up one of its third-round picks, and its fifth-round pick to the Oakland Raiders and John Gruden for the 10th overall pick, just to get the quarterback they wanted. Fine. Got it. You're Josh Rosen. How are you insulted? Did you drop to 24 like Aaron Rodgers? Did you drop out of the first round completely? Were you a second and third round pick? No. 3 quarterbacks were picked before you. All of them were in the top 7. You were picked 10th overall, and here you are being all sensitive. And see, here's the thing for me, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't boxing or MMA where you get to get in a ring or the octagon, and guess what? You get to fight man to man against somebody else, and may the best man win. In football, you're a quarterback. You're standing in the pocket. You're a sacrificial lamb. Cat's going to come at you ready to knock you upside your damn head. And this is after you release the football. And by the way, don't act like that's not a big deal. Josh Rosen has had 2 concussions last year. 2. This guy he was in a world of trouble. I mean, what the hell are you thinking? You can talk all the smack you want. At the end of the day, these are grown men with bills to pay and families to take care of. And you walking in there like a puppy. You don't know a damn thing. And you talk about how you got a chip on your shoulder and you're going to make everybody else regret it. Well, how you going to do that if you concussed? It's football, man. They don't like it and they don't play that mess. And you talking your smack is just flat out stupid. I'm not calling Josh Rosen stupid. I'm saying his comments were just stupid. Because that's how you're going to get yourself hurt. And you certainly don't want to do that. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Couple of other picks that I really like that took place. I like the Dolphins with Minka Fitzpatrick in the first round. I do. I like this kid, McClinchy. He's an offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. San Francisco needs that. You want to protect your $137.5 million investment in Jimmy Garoppolo. I had to like what the Indianapolis Colts did because Quentin Nelson was considered the premier guard by leaps and bounds in this NFL draft. And what you did was show that you're committed to protecting Andrew Luck because that's the only way the Colts are going to be relevant anyway. And, of course, Bradley Chubb going to Denver. I mean, Denver's clear, and John Elway clearly all in on Case Keenum. They went the defensive route, drafted this kid, Bradley Chubb, who's a specialist in getting at the quarterback. So you're pairing him with Von Miller. Lord have mercy. That could be scary. No question about it. So that's something to consider. Just looking around, having said all of that, I mean, I just love what the New York Giants did. I really, really do. And I think arguably the steal of the first round was Sony Michel with the New England Patriots. That brother can run. He might be the second best running back in the NFL. I'm sorry, that entered the draft, rather, outside of Saquon Barkley. He might be that dude. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens here. Who did John Gruden get? Who's Colton Miller? Yeah, you need an offensive lineman. He's got a weakness at right tackle. You needed to address that. Pro Bowl left tackle Donald Penn will turn 35 on Friday. And Miller's a fourth-year junior who was the Bruins starter at right tackle in 2016 before moving to left tackle last season to protect Josh Rosen's blind side. So guess what? He can play both. And that's why John Gruden grabbed him. Makes sense to me. Definitely makes sense to me. When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screening questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Craving even more of Stephen A?
Him of all people.
For around-the-clock access to the man?
I'm Stephen A.
You can follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Stephen A. Smith and on Facebook at Stephen A.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance with more than 30 unique coverage options available. Progressive knows small business. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com. Lots of stuff to get into. Got a lot of stuff in about the draft. But I can't leave this show today forgetting about the NBA playoffs. I just can't. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday night, and I got to admit, I'm excited. I'm excited. First of all, there's a game going on in Chocolate City, the nation's capital. Game 6, Toronto Raptors versus the Washington Wizards. I expect the Wizards to win this game. Before the series began, I picked Toronto to win this series in 7. In 7. I still think that's going to be the case. They're up 3-2 right now. Wizards took their foot off the gas and Toronto took advantage. And ultimately the Wizards lost game 6. They're going to be at home. They play better when they're at home instead of on the road. And I believe that is what it will be. That's what will happen. John Wall, Bradley Beal and the crew will show up tonight. They're on a break of elimination. They don't want to lose in front of their hometown fans. They handle their business. It'll be a nail biter because Toronto is playing with house money. They'll show up. But in the end, I think the Wizards will win this game. They will force a game 7. And they will have to go back to Toronto for that, at which time they will lose. It's that simple. The other 2 games, what can I say? Think about the last time we saw LeBron just a couple of nights ago. First of all, that block of Oladipo, albeit goaltending, in real time, didn't look like goaltending at all. It was that close. The ball had barely touched the glass when he pinned it to the boards, and Oladipo thought it should have been a goaltending. LeBron and them obviously thought otherwise. In Cleveland, on your home court, you're not getting that call against LeBron James. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. And Oladipo wanted that goaltending. He didn't get it. But here's the reality. It really didn't matter. Because when LeBron James hit the 3 to win the game, it still would have beat that too. And that was an incredible, tremendous shot that he took and made at the top of the key. It was beautiful to see. A game winner, and LeBron James got it done and handled his business. So the Cleveland Cavaliers are up 3-2. Here's my personal belief, though. They need to close it out tonight. Don't play around. First of all, the rest of the guys that he's playing with right now can't be trusted. Offensively, they just don't get it done. J.R. Smith went 0 for 8 last game, 0 for 6 from three-point range. All right? Tristan Thompson's a Kardashian now, basically, in everybody's eyes. He doesn't even get any run. And I like Tristan, but that's what they say about him. You look at the rest of the guys, they're not doing anything offensively other than Kyle Korver. You just can't take that chance against this Indiana Pacers team. You got to smell blood and take them out. That's what you have to do if you're LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's what you have to do. And I think he will do that because I think he knows better than anybody he needs the rest. Because the win of Toronto and Washington is next. And if that goes to 7 games, then that'll be additional rest for LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And God knows he needs it. The other game that's taking place tonight is OKC Game 6 in Utah. Now, normally I would sit up there and say, look, Utah's going to take care of them. They're going to close them out, whatever. But when you're up 25 points with 8:35 left in the third quarter, and before the quarter even ends, OKC comes back and ties the score because that ruthless competitor, Russell Westbrook, just takes control. What you going to do? What the hell are you going to do? The manner in which they lost, it's one of those games where they might have got their heart checked. But guess what? I believe in my rookie of the year, Donovan Mitchell. And I believe that he will show up and the team will show up in Utah on their home court to make amends for that collapse that we witnessed take place. And I think Utah will find a way to close it out and avoid a Game 7 in Oklahoma City. I originally had Oklahoma City winning this game, but looking at Utah and looking at the way OKC looks at times, if Russell Westbrook didn't get hot, I mean, it was 2-on-5 basketball. Russell Westbrook and Paul George doing everything. And I don't think that's going to work in Utah. So I've got Utah winning Game 6, closing out that series and going against Houston in the next round. I got Boston winning Game 7 Saturday night because they're at home, and I think they're a better team. It's just that the Greek Freak and Middleton have been doing their thing. Bledsoe has played better. Jabari Parker has played better for the last 3 games. First 2 games, they were both non-existent, but they played better the last 2 games. But I still think in Boston for Game 7, Boston should be able to pull out that win in that series. And then, of course, let me not forget the Pelicans, New Orleans, going up against Golden State Warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't give a damn about the matchup right now. What I care about is Kevin Durant versus Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday versus Klay Thompson. That's what interests me in this series. I want to see them up against one another. I want to witness that. I want to see what that's like. I want to see what they're going to do to each other. That's the encounter that I'm looking for. Steph Curry's warmed up to the team, practiced with the team. They say they're not ruling out him not coming back Saturday. I don't think he'll play Saturday. I think he may show up for Game 2, though. I don't know if he'll be there for Game 1, but I definitely think he'll be there for Game 2. And if he's healthy, there's nothing to talk about. Warriors will win this in 6 games. If he's not healthy, you got yourself a different problem. It's lots of NBA action. I can't be more excited about it. Love it. I thought last year my season was ruined because of that damn Kevin Durant going to the Warriors. But turns out that is not the case. So I am good. Feeling good about it too. Once again, tune in this Sunday night as Mike Trout and the Angels host Aaron Judge and the Yankees, presented by Firestone. Coverage on Sunday Night Baseball begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Radio, ESPNradio.com, and the ESPN app, and at 8 p.m. on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Got a great weekend. Still got rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL draft and beyond. All weekend long, football will be on our minds, and we got these great NBA games. Whole bunch of stuff to get into, and I can't wait. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to enjoy my damn weekend. Y'all make sure y'all do the same. Times are precious. Enjoy it as much as you possibly can.
That's just a sample of what you'll hear on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.